Late last night, the internet didn't just wake up, it detonated. A single screenshot, allegedly pulled from a private family chat, began racing across blogs and timelines, and within minutes one question hijacked the entire conversation. What if everything we thought we knew about this family was a lie? Insiders claim a confidential document, rumored to be a DNA report, surfaced without warning, and the name at the center of the storm sent shockwaves through fans, who thought this legacy was untouchable. Social media timelines turned into crime scenes. Tweets were deleted as fast as they were posted. Old interviews were dragged back from the archives. Fans started stitching together clips that suddenly felt different. And then came the silence, the kind of silence that screams louder than any denial. One sister allegedly went off-grid. Another was accused of being the source of the leak. And the woman everyone expected to speak first. She didn't. She snapped, online, behind the scenes, and reportedly behind closed doors. What makes this explode isn't just the rumor itself. It's the timing. It's the betrayal. It's the idea that a truth this big may have been buried for decades, protected by fame, fear, and family loyalty, until someone decided they were done keeping secrets. Fans are split, timelines don't add up, and every new insider claim only deepens the mystery. If even half of what's circulating is true, this isn't just reality TV drama. It's a family reckoning, and the fallout is only getting started. By sunrise, the blogs were no longer whispering, they were screaming. Screenshots allegedly pulled from a private thread began circulating, each one blurrier than the last, each one stamped with the same terrifying implication. Someone inside the family had decided secrecy was no longer worth protecting. Fans refreshed their feeds obsessively as clips from old interviews resurfaced, moments that once felt harmless now reading like coded confessions hiding in plain sight. A laugh that lingered too long. A pause before a simple question. A sister glancing off camera, like she'd been warned not to say too much. Insiders claimed the leak didn't come from an outsider or a hacker, but from someone who had access long before the internet ever did. Someone who knew where the documents were kept. Someone who knew exactly what would happen if they escaped. According to sources, the fallout started hours earlier behind closed doors, when a confrontation allegedly exploded into screaming, tears, and threats no PR team could clean up. Phones were snatched. Voices were raised. And one line, overheard by someone close enough to hear it, reportedly changed everything. If you won't tell the truth, I will. That's when the posts started disappearing. One sister's account went dark without explanation. Another posted a cryptic message about truth setting people free, only to delete it minutes later. Fans noticed immediately. Comment sections turned into war zones. Half the internet demanded answers. The other half begged everyone to stop speculating before a real person was hurt. But it was already too late. The rumor had legs, and it was running. What poured gasoline on the fire was the timeline. Amateur detectives began lining up dates, ages, and career milestones, claiming things suddenly didn't add up the way they'd always been told. Old family photos were zoomed in on. Reunion episodes were re-watched frame by frame. A pregnancy rumor once dismissed as tabloid nonsense was dragged back into the spotlight, this time with fresh eyes and sharper questions. The idea that a truth this massive could have been hidden for years didn't feel impossible anymore, it felt intentional. Behind the scenes, panic reportedly set in. Emergency calls were made. Lawyers were looped in. A planned appearance was quietly cancelled. According to one alleged insider, the family group chat turned into a battlefield, with accusations flying about loyalty, jealousy, and long-buried resentment. This wasn't just about one leak. It was about decades of control, about who got to shine, and who was told to stay quiet for the greater good. And at the center of it all was one woman, said to be unraveling in real time. Sources claimed she felt ambushed, betrayed not by strangers, but by blood. She allegedly believed the truth would come out one day, just not like this, not ripped open by someone who knew exactly where it would hurt the most. Friends say she paced for hours, replaying conversations she'd had years ago, moments where she almost spoke up, but didn't. Moments she can never get back. As the morning wore on, one thing became clear. This wasn't a scandal that would burn out by dinner. This was the kind that fractures families, rewrites legacies, and leaves damage long after the hashtags stop trending. And just when fans thought they'd seen the worst of it, whispers began spreading that this leak was only the first piece, and that someone else was preparing to speak next. By the afternoon, the story mutated from rumor into full-blown chaos. What started as speculation hardened into something darker, as alleged insiders began flooding the blogs with eerily specific details. Screenshots of supposed text messages appeared, showing frantic exchanges, accusations typed in all caps, and one message that sent fans spiraling. "You promised this would never get out." No names were attached, but people didn't need them. Everyone thought they knew exactly who was talking, and who they were talking to. Then came the audio. Or at least what was claimed to be audio. A grainy voice note began circulating in private group chats, before leaking publicly, allegedly capturing part of a heated argument. The voice, distorted and shaky, could be heard saying something about years of silence, and protecting an image. Whether real or not, it ignited the internet. Twitter Spaces popped up instantly. TikTok timelines were flooded with theories. Fan pages turned into investigative units, breaking down tone, cadence, and vocal patterns like it was a criminal case. What made this part unbearable was the emotional split. Some fans were furious, calling the alleged secrecy cruel and unforgivable. Others pushed back hard, saying no one had the right to demand personal truths from anyone, famous or not. And right in the middle of that moral tug-of-war was the person everyone suddenly realized had been silent the longest, the one caught in between generations, expectations, and decisions she never made herself. According to people close to the situation, she didn't learn about the alleged leak in a controlled setting. She found out the same way everyone else did, through a notification. A tag. A screenshot sent by a friend asking, "Is this real?" Sources say she broke down immediately, not on camera, not for the public, but in private, the kind of breakdown that doesn't trend, but changes you forever. While the internet debated theories, she was allegedly asking questions no one around her was prepared to answer. Behind the scenes, the family's internal fractures widened. One camp reportedly pushed for a unified statement, something vague, something calming, something that would buy time. Another camp wanted to go nuclear, to tell everything, consequences be damned. Old resentments resurfaced. People started revisiting moments from years ago when decisions were made for the good of everyone. Only now, that phrase sounded less like protection and more like control. The silence from the family matriarch became deafening. Fans noticed. Comment sections filled with the same question over and over. Why hasn't she said anything? That absence fueled the belief that there was more being hidden. When a short, carefully worded message finally appeared through a representative, calling for privacy, healing, and respect, it only made things worse. No denial. No clarification. Just a request for space in the middle of a digital wildfire. Meanwhile, one sister appeared to double down. She posted, then deleted, then reposted cryptic messages about truth, freedom, and no longer carrying other people's burdens. Each post sent the internet into another frenzy. Was this guilt? Defiance? Or a warning that more receipts were coming? At one point, she allegedly went live briefly, only for the stream to cut out after a few tense seconds. Industry reactions quietly started leaking too. A rumored reboot project was allegedly put on pause. A brand collaboration disappeared from a website overnight. Invitations were reportedly rescinded. In private, insiders claimed executives were nervous, not because of the scandal itself, but because of how unpredictable it had become. Nobody knew who would speak next, or what they might say. And just when it felt like the storm had peaked, a new development cracked everything open again. A soft-spoken, emotional video surfaced from the one person no one expected to hear from yet. No accusations. No dramatic music. Just visible pain and a single sentence that cut deeper than any leak. "I wish I had known the truth before the world did." That moment shifted the entire narrative. Sympathy surged. Anger redirected. And suddenly, the question wasn't who leaked what, it was who stayed silent for too long. As the video ended and comments exploded, one thing was clear: the next response, from the woman at the center of it all, would either bring clarity, or destroy what was left of this family forever. By evening, the saga had escalated beyond anyone's wildest expectations. The leaked documents, audio clips, and screenshots had already ignited a digital firestorm, but now the focus shifted to the woman at the center, the one whose silence had been dissected, debated, and weaponized by millions online. According to insiders, she was locked in a private space, pacing, rereading old messages, and mentally preparing for the confrontation that would change everything. Friends described her as completely shattered but resolute, a mix of fear, fury, and grief that no amount of PR spin could contain. The public was on edge. Clips of her rehearsing statements, allegedly leaked by someone close, circulated, each snippet dripping with emotion. One phrase kept resurfacing: "I carried the truth alone for too long, and it's time it's heard." Fans flooded social media with support, speculation, and frantic theories about what she might say next. Meanwhile, her sister, who had initiated the leak, remained defiant, posting cryptic messages that hinted at even more secrets yet to surface. The tension between the two sisters was palpable, and the internet had a front-row seat to every calculated move, every deleted post, every screenshot and hair. Then, the confrontation finally went public. A live appearance, raw, unscripted, and unfiltered, revealed layers of pain and betrayal that nobody anticipated. She confirmed, for the first time, the truth that had been whispered in speculation for months. She spoke with trembling voice, recounting years of secrecy, manipulation, and decisions made for the family that were anything but protective. She explained how her silence had been exploited, how promises were broken, and how a single leak had triggered a chain reaction that the family was not ready to withstand. Sources close to the broadcast said it was gut-wrenching to watch, the kind of moment that leaves a permanent scar on public perception. Meanwhile, the sister who leaked the documents doubled down, responding publicly with cryptic posts suggesting that truth and justice were worth the fallout. The internet exploded. Hashtags trended, fan pages divided, and celebrities weighed in with commentary, intensifying the pressure on everyone involved. Lawyers were reportedly mobilized behind the scenes, with cease and desist orders being filed, only fueling further speculation. Insider reports suggested that even the family matriarch was forced to issue a rare public statement, acknowledging the complexity of the situation, but refusing to clarify details, leaving fans and media desperate for clarity. Amid the chaos, the person at the center of the scandal revealed another shocking layer: messages and photos allegedly proving long-held secrets, never meant for public eyes. Some claimed these were proof of pre-existing arrangements, family agreements, and hidden histories that reframed the entire narrative. Every post, every image, and every word was dissected by fans, creating a frenzy of theories, accusations, and online outrage. Social media became a battlefield of emotion, and each new leak amplified the tension. By the end of the night, what was once a private family matter had become a spectacle watched by millions, a saga of betrayal, secrecy, and finally, confrontation. Insider sources reported that the family's internal structure was shattered, with relationships strained beyond repair. Even loyal supporters were divided, some siding with the one who spoke her truth, others siding with the sister who claimed to act for justice. The public was left wondering, could this family ever heal? Or had the leak irrevocably changed everything? And just when it seemed the storm had reached its peak, whispers began circulating of an even bigger revelation, something that could rewrite the entire story yet again. As the night ended, fans were left on edge, hearts racing, unable to look away. The truth had been spoken, but the consequences were far from over. One thing was certain, the fallout from this scandal would continue to ripple through the family, social media, and celebrity world for years to come, and nobody would ever look at the Braxtons the same way again. If this story shocked you, angered you, or left you speechless, don't just scroll past. The conversation isn't over, and you need to be part of it. Hit that like button to show you're following every explosive twist. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because we want to hear your take. Who's really in the wrong here, and what would you do if you were in Ashlee's shoes? Share this video with friends and family who live for celebrity drama, because missing out on this story means missing the full unraveling of one of the most shocking family secrets in recent memory. And most importantly, subscribe and ring that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to be the one left in the dark when the next bombshell drops. We're bringing you every leak, every meltdown, every jaw-dropping revelation, the kind of stories that no one else dares to report. The Braxton saga isn't finished, and the next chapter will be even more dramatic, more emotional, and more explosive. Be ready. Be first. Be part of the conversation before everyone else catches up. This is your front row seat to history in the making, and you won't want to miss a second.